Hey there, Purple Marine 81 here. You can already tell what this video is going to be going over, so I'll just get right to it. For those of you who have been following my channel, you already know that for a while now I've been trying to make up my mind whether or not I wanted to buy a 1911 or a Glock, because I've never owned either one, and I really just didn't know what to do. I put a couple videos out there asking you guys what you thought, so thank you for that. You really helped me make this decision. But obviously you can tell where where I went on it. And what I purchased was this. And for those of you that might not know exactly what you're looking at, most of you probably will. This is a Glock 22, G22. This is Generation 3, 40 caliber. And this is the full-size frame model. That's what the 22s are. And I'll cover a little bit why I went with this particular firearm specifically. But overall, I do want to say first off that, you know, in the beginning, I really wasn't really sure if I wanted to get a Glock, just because, you know, I know that they're reliable weapons and everything, and they're really good for, you get a lot for your money. But I didn't want to jump on that whole bandwagon, you know, mentality. I can't stand that when a bunch of people, you'll ask their advice for what type of firearm they should buy, and they just tell you, like, they'll say get a Glock, but they won't give you any kind of legitimate reasons. They'll just give you like, oh, it's the best gun in the world, blah, 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 blah. You know, and I can't stand that. So I didn't really know if I wanted to even get a Glock just for that reason, because I didn't know how much of it was hype and how much of it was true. Well, I'll tell you right off the bat, I've only owned this thing for I haven't even owned it a week yet. I've put close to 300 rounds through it. I've tried, let me see, 6 different types of ammunition. That ranges anything from manufacturer to, you know, steel cased, hollow points, different grain weights, you name it. I wanted to try to make this thing malfunction. And I'll tell you what, I did not have a single one. Now, that's extremely impressive, because anybody who knows anything about firearms knows that when you get a weapon that is new, regardless of manufacturer, odds are you might have a malfunction during that initial break-in period. It's just going to happen. Everything's still real tight. If there is any kind of issue with the weapon, that's when it's going to rear its ugly head. You know, the magazines are new, and by the way, these 3 that you're seeing before you are the 2 that came with it, and then I bought an extra one. Those are all new as well. Sometimes you have issues with new magazines, and I really wanted to see if I could just make it malfunction. And with all of that ammo, running dirty, you know, new magazines, new weapon, all of that, did not have a single malfunction, not a one. Now granted, it's only 300 rounds, but still, that's pretty impressive in my book. To go through a break-in period on a firearm and not have a single malfunction, you know, failure to feed, stovepipe, failure to eject, none of it. It just chewed it up and spit it out. That's impressive to me. So far, I will say thank you, Glock, for making a good weapon and not giving me buyer's remorse and wishing that I had got the 1911. So far, I'm extremely pleased with this. And for those of you safety gurus out there, it is empty. I don't know if you can even see it, but there's nothing in the chamber. Anyway, now that's out of the way. So after, you know, I broke this in and everything. This is what this looks like now. This is just stock. I haven't done anything to it at all. Nothing. I do have some stuff on order right now, so it's going to change a little bit of the way this looks. And as I get those parts in, I'm going to go ahead and change those out, and then I will show you step by step the different things that I'm going to do this to mod it out to make it a little bit more personalized. That's part of the reason why I bought the two-tone and this flat dark earth, is I didn't want mine to look like everybody else's. Not that there's anything wrong with just a straight black Glock, but I wanted to make mine a little bit different. And that's part of the reason why I'm changing some of the stuff on here, cosmetically as well as internally. Let's see, what else? Why I went with this particular model. First and foremost, I went with Gen 3 instead of Gen 4. I know that a lot of people have had good experiences with Gen 4, but me, just being me, to be on the safe side, I wanted to purchase one that I knew had a longer track record, so I went with Gen 3. I know that they've been out for a lot longer, they're proven. They were $50 cheaper, so that was cool. That was just an added bonus. And I went with full size because I don't like small framed weapons. Now, I'm a little guy, and I carry this with me every day since I got it. Depending on how I want to carry it, I do carry it open in a Serpa, and I have a Blackhawk concealment holster that I use when I'm trying to carry it concealed. And it doesn't bother me. Even fully loaded with 14 in the mag and 1 in the pipe, it's not that bad. People who complain about the weight, yes, you do notice that it's there, but it's not unbearable. It's not something like, like, oh my God, I don't, I just want to take this thing off my hip. It's just like anything. And I carry 2 spare magazines, 2 full-size spare magazines, and a speed holster on my left side. So that's a lot of weight. Plus, you added all the other EDC crap. I have a knife. I'll show you this knife on my belt as well, and then all the other crap that I've got. But it's just like anything. You get used to carrying the weight, you'll forget about it. But anyway, I'm gonna get off track here. I went with 40 caliber, just because I wanted something kind of middle of the road. I do like the larger caliber in the handguns. 45 is caliber that I was really thinking about getting, but I wanted the extra capacity, so I went with 40 because I don't like 9mm. And in the future, I don't know. We'll see if I get a 23 or something like that that's smaller, just to try it out. But I don't mind this full size at all. So if you're worried about that, especially if you're a little bit of a bigger guy, you're not going to notice this weight much. It is not. Oops. It is not that big of a deal. Not at all. Let me see what else we got here. One thing that I might change here soon is these sights. I do really like this sight picture, but the only thing that I don't like is that they're not night sights. They are very high visibility, as you can say. Oh my gosh, as you can see, especially even if you go on black, like I'm doing right here. It's a very quick sight picture, very easy to acquire your targets. I didn't have any kind of trouble at all with it. And that's one thing I do want to touch on is the accuracy with these is pretty impressive. I'm not familiar with shooting Glocks that much. I mean, I've shot them before in the past a couple times, but I'm not by any means, real experienced with these yet. But it would put them where I wanted them. You basically, wherever you're pointing, if you know what you're doing, as far as fundamentals and stuff goes, it'll go exactly where you want. Once you get that, you find that trigger break or the reset, it's cake. It's very pronounced. I like that about it. Let's see what else we got here. One thing that I am changing that I just do not like, and that I didn't like about Glocks in the past, is these controls. I don't know why Glock makes these. I mean, I guess it's better for carrying, like concealed carry, is how flush fitting these are. This slide release is so minute. I mean, if you run your thumb over it, it doesn't hardly do anything. I mean, it barely catches it. So I'm changing that out for extended. I mean, you can still do it, obviously, but I don't like how flat that is. I mean, if you got gloved hands, there's a really good chance that you go to actuate that and it's not going to happen. That and the mag release. The mag release, in my opinion, is god awful. That's the only thing I hate about these things. It's horrible. It's so short. that, I mean, my hands are not small, really. I mean, as you can see, they're not tiny. They're average size. But you see where my thumb is? When I go over that, I can't even actuate this. It won't do it. I have to break grip and rotate my hand over to this side of the firearm in order to push that in enough to drop the mag. To me, that is unacceptable. I mean, that's a very bad design. I mean, unless you've got like 5-inch thumbs or something, you can't hit that properly. Not unless, you know, you do what I just did and kind of break your grip and slip it over this way in order to actuate that. So I do have one of those on the way to change it out, and it's not that big of a deal. It's an easy fix. It's really the only thing so far that I see that I didn't really like about the weapon. But it is something that needs to be addressed. I think, correct me if I'm wrong, but I think the Gen 4s come with that already in extended, if you want to call it that, model of that. But anyway, there you are. Yeah, so far, I love it. I'm rapidly becoming a very big Glock fan. If it keeps doing what it's doing, and it goes bang every time, and especially after I change some stuff out that I don't like about it, you know, and it puts the rounds where you need them to be, then I can't say one damn thing bad about it. I'm surprisingly more fond of this weapon than I thought I would be. I thought it would just kind of be one that I'd have for a while, maybe get rid of, resale, or throw in the collection, and then be it. But nope, I'm pretty pleased with it. So thanks guys for watching. If you have any kind of questions about this model or anything else in particular, feel free to leave it. And as always, thanks for watching. Purple Rain 81 out.